Welcome to Backyard Cigars. I am very pleased today to present this cigar from a company who I have a deep fondness for because they're New York based and because I can call them up on the phone and their customer service is going to be amazing because I can count on their in-shop hospitality to be just through the roof and their generosity as well. They care about the fellow smoker. And a lot of companies care about the fellow smoker. A lot of companies do. But it's rare for some of us sometimes to actually connect with these companies in that way. We go to cigar lounges, but that's not the actual cigar company. We'll go on factory tours, and you get a small example of that when you go on a factory tour, but it's different when we're talking about a small company, right? Mom and pop, so to speak. And you get to connect with them in a way that you can't connect with a General Cigars, just throwing a big name out there for you. And in my case, the fact that it's in New York and it's very accessible for me makes it obviously more convenient. So, Jesus Martinez and his dedicated team at Martinez Cigars offer something that is just an incredible product. What they offer is incredible quality with a good amount of love, a lot of love actually, not just for the cigars that they make and sell, but for the smoker, because there's just this deep connection to their roots and in the Dominican Republic and in New York. So they're just incredible bunch of guys. I can't say enough about them. This cigar that I'm presenting to you today was released about 2 months ago. This is Patrimonio. It translates to heritage, legacy. And this was something that him and his team cooked up. It was a blend that they had found, something that his father had left behind, and they had to retweak that blend because they felt it was too strong. But they didn't want to weaken it. They didn't want to dilute it. They just felt it needed some tweaking. So they took the recipe, the blending recipe, and they came up with this cigar. And now it's released in two sizes, a Torpedo and a Robusto Gordo. Now the Robusto Gordo is 5x54. It sports a San Andres wrapper. It has a Nicaraguan binder, and it has filler from Nicaragua and Dominican Republic. The Dominican filler in this cigar is known as Cubanito. We're going to talk about that because I just got off the phone with Jesus Martinez a few minutes ago, and we talked about it. And I love talking to anyone who can teach me, right? I mean, that's just the beauty of life. You can meet people from all places, all walks of life, and everyone's got something to offer most of the time. But us cigar folks, we love to talk, and especially when we're talking about tobacco and cigars, we can go on, and it can get dark, and the sun will come up again, and we're still talking about cigars. That's just how it is, and Jesus is no different. And this cigar is, I've smoked many of them already, and I don't know why I haven't reviewed it sooner, but man, what can I tell you? Well, I can start off by telling you that it has some of these traditional San Andres notes that we get from a lot of the San Andres wrappers. The sweetness, the cocoa notes, little bit of leather hints. It's a full-bodied, full-strength cigar. May start off a little medium full, but essentially it's a full-bodied, full-strength cigar. You need to have something in your stomach for this one. But despite that, it's really smooth. Once you get past that first inch, it smooths out. It really starts into like this auto cruise of a plethora of dark coffee notes and the cocoa bitter cocoa to slightly creamy cocoa, and it just goes through the transitions very smoothly. I love when a cigar does that, really do. I've had this cigar now about a month and a half or so in the humidor at 6566 RH, and I have the torpedo waiting there for me as well. Again, I've smoked both of them and I love them both. But I need to tell you why I love them. I need to tell you how I came to the conclusion. It isn't because the guys at Martinez Cigars are great people that I love the cigar. No, it's not. It's not because of that. Because you got to call it like you see it. And I still go back to one of the early conversations that I had with Jesus when I was asking about a particular cigar I was going to review, and he says to me, "Look, say what you're gonna say. Whatever it is you don't like, you just say it, and it's fine with us. We like to hear what people like and don't like, so that we can make our cigars better, and people will like them more." And and that's what he's been doing throughout the years, is really putting out cigars that will please the palate. Well, a lot of companies do that. It's just what it's about, right? Like I said, business. Give the consumer what he wants. Find out what the new trend is. Find out what the cravings and the new palate is calling for, and give them that, because it'll benefit you as a company. You'll start to sell more cigars. But the other thing is to do it in a way where you're not compromising the integrity of your quality. You follow me on that? It's one thing to say we've got to find this and this and that type of tobacco and make this and this and that size of cigar to please the palates and the needs of smokers so that we can make money and live. And another thing is to do so without compromising your quality, your standards of quality. And that's something that Martinez Cigars has never done. It has never compromised its standards of quality. You just can't, especially when you're a small company and you're not one of these big, General Cigar giants. I'm not picking on General Cigar, by the way. I love General Cigar. But they're a big company. They can take certain risks that a smaller boutique brand can't. Boutique brand has to stick to its roots, stick to its standards. And Jesus Martinez's father always used to say it's all about the quality. It's all about the quality. So you keep the quality going good. And if you listen to a lot of legendary cigar makers, they echo the same thought, the same philosophy. It's about the quality. You keep the quality up, and you're going to have business. You're going to have good business. Now, what I really like about the cigar is the draw. It's just the perfect draw. It really is. I mean, it reminds me of that Padron-like draw. And I'm not comparing this to a Padron. That's not where we're going with this. What I'm saying is the draw has that openness to it. And it has that openness to it, but what you get out of it is just so rewarding. I think another important factor in his cigars is aroma, because blenders will always say, when blending a cigar, we want to make a cigar that's going to smell incredibly good. Not just taste good, but smell incredibly good. We want to touch all of the senses, right? And so it's important to have that great aroma. If you have a really great tasting cigar and it doesn't smell overwhelmingly good, you can look past it, because as you're puffing it, you're enjoying it so much. But when you have the combination of that great flavor and that great aroma, it really takes the cigar to another level. I think we can agree on that. Now, what this cigar has, it has Cubanito. So I call up Martinez Cigars and I say, I know Cubanito is a Dominican tobacco. At first, there was some confusion as to what the binder was, and I wasn't sure about a few of the specs, and we ironed that out pretty quickly. And I said, tell me a little bit more about Cubanito, because I've heard of it and I know it's Dominican. He said, yeah, well, that's what's in the filler blended with the Nicaraguan tobacco. And Cubanito is one of the strongest cigars that you can get from the Dominican Republic. It's a ligero. It's a potent ligero. It's a small plant. It's wrinkly, as Jesus described. And he goes, if I could compare it to a certain type of tobacco in appearance, it would be the tobacco from Ometepe, Nicaraguan tobacco from Ometepe. Not that they taste the same in any way. It's just their appearance. I said, yeah, it's one of those tobaccos that people in the Dominican Republic know of, are very fond of, are very aware of its existence and how it can be used. This cigar has pepper notes, it has coffee notes, it has leather hints, it has cocoa, it has creaminess, it has dark chocolate at times. I mean, there's a lot going on here. There are a lot of flavors that I'm experiencing when I smoke one of these cigars. And I think that we can all perceive these flavors very differently. Some of us might say, well, I get more of the cocoa, a little bit of the creaminess, not so much of the dark chocolate, maybe a little coffee. But everyone I've spoken to more or less gets some of these flavors, some of these notes, and these transitions as you're smoking the cigar. A lot of smoke output, not overly dry. The wrapper is this San Andres wrapper. I don't know the aging on it. I think it might be 3 to 5 years on it. I'm not sure. I can always verify that. But Robusto Gordo seems to be another trend that's been happening lately, right? Where you just take your traditional Robusto 5x50 and you supersize it just a little bit to a 5x54 or 5x56. And it's something that it you know what? It works. It works because it gives us, the smoker, obviously more tobacco. And for those of us that are looking at the dollar to your bang for your buck, you get a little more bang for your buck in a longer lasting cigar, of course. But, and this is something that I guess I'll discuss with Jesus when we speak, but it also allows the blender to more room to work with in the cigar's size. So I'm wondering how that played a part in choosing the Robusto Gordo for this cigar. Because they could have just gone with a Robusto, right? Or they could have gone with the Toro, like everybody else does a Toro. Now today is about 75 degrees with 80% humidity. This cigar is experiencing no problems whatsoever. The aroma, everything's working. I'm not getting any slowdowns because of the humidity. I'm not experiencing any kind of, it's not turning off, nothing like that. It's just a finely tuned cigar. I mean, it's just doing everything it's supposed to do. And I'm glad about that because it makes me proud to know that in New York City, we have a top of the line cigar producer, cigar company, top of the line. It's that New York pride and also just knowing that the love that goes into these cigars is for real. I mean, it's just, they care so much about their tobacco, and it shows. So glad to be smoking this, glad to be reviewing this. I want to thank you all for watching this review. If you get a chance, order your Patrimonios because you know, this is the time to do it when it's still summer, even if it's getting towards the end of summer, and you can have some time to go out in your backyard or your front porch and enjoy a nice smoke like this with either a bold cup of black coffee or some bourbon, because I've had this with bourbon and it goes great. So I want to thank you all again. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Till next time on Backyard Cigars.